Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 434 based on novel. So let's start. Wang Lin frowned. The words of the first generation vermilion bird echoed in his mind, causing him to become silent. The 5 void-shattering fingers is a process to gather the power to break the void. Only by cultivating to the limit of the second step can you borrow the power of your essence to break the void gate in one fell swoop. Your cultivation is too chaotic. First of all, your ancient god body. Ancient god, I didn't expect a member of my vermilion bird clan to become an ancient god. There was a strange light in the first generation vermilion bird's eyes as he looked at the blood sword before him. This old man doesn't know much about ancient god cultivation, but during my time, the ancient god's power was heaven-shaking. Back then, although the ancient order's Yumo wasn't as strong as the ancient celestial sovereign, the ancient celestial sovereign still dreaded him. Ancient order? Wang Lin was startled as he looked at the first generation vermilion bird. Due to my promise from back then, I can't tell you anymore, so don't ask me again. If you have the opportunity, you will find the answer that is lost in time. The expression of the first generation vermilion bird seemed crestfallen. If you were to only cultivate the ancient god body and use your power as Tao, it would be easier to open the void gate. However, essences have appeared inside your body, and it is a shocking 5 essences. Therefore, if you want to enter the third step, it will be even more difficult. The more essences you have, the more difficult it becomes, unless you give up your essences and enter the third step as an ancient god. Or you can give up your ancient god body and 4 essences to enter the third step with 1 complete essence. Wang Lin silently pondered. The third step requires the completion of an essence. Then, with the help of Joss flames and devouring a Tao spirit, there is a chance to enter the third step. However, I can't find any Joss flame aura from you. You walk a very difficult path, one completely different from that of the second and fourth generations, so I can't help you. However, right now you have a choice, and I want you to think about it carefully. Wang Lin looked at the first generation vermilion bird and calmly said, "What choice? Give up your ancient god body, abandon your seemingly complete but still flawed thunder essence, and also give up all your essences except for your fire essence. Stay in the heaven trial and this old man will help you reach the third step within 100 years. From then on, you will only have 1 essence, the fire of the vermilion bird. Once you have reached the third step, this old man will teach you the vermilion bird endless flame. You will cultivate in peace here with the second and fourth generation vermilion birds and wait until this old man breaks the seal. Then this old man will take the 3 of you, and leave this place," the first generation vermilion bird said slowly. "Leave this place?" Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He felt like there was some hidden meaning behind these words. Leave this place. The first generation vermilion bird's eyes revealed reminiscence as he softly said, "To go back to the world I came from." Wang Lin's mint trembled and he was about to speak. "Don't ask, I can't say. If I speak, I'll die. They want to fight, they want to steal, but this old man is tired. I'm unwilling to participate, I just want to go home." The first generation vermilion bird sounded tired. "I'll give you time to think, I hope you consider it carefully," the first generation vermilion bird let out a sigh. Wang Lin's breath became a bit rough and he struggled. The words of the first generation vermilion bird was very tempting, even more tempting than Tao Master Blue Dream's offer. Tao Master Blue Dream was not of the vermilion bird clan. In his heart, Wang Lin was leaning more toward the first generation vermilion bird. Wang Lin hesitated and asked, "If I give up my ancient god body and my other essences, once I reach third step, can I recultivate my essences?" "Of course you can. Third step cultivators also cultivate essences, and the more essences, the deeper their comprehension, their cultivation level also increases this way. However, the new essence will never reach true completion and will stop at the third step. 1. This path poses no danger to you. It is a peaceful path that will allow you to keep your obsession. This old man has also faced the flame of obsession and knows how important it is to people like us." The first generation vermilion bird looked at Wang Lin as if he was looking at himself and let out a sigh. Wang Lin's mind trembled and his breathing became even more rough. Before him, the choice began to tilt. There was a voice filled with 2,000 years of exhaustion in his heart. With the possibility of a quiet life, there was a hint of excitement in the voice that continued to whisper to him. Stay here. Stay here. You don't have to experience the bloodbath, you don't have to worry about life and death. Stay here. Reach the third step in 100 years. Even if it means giving up the other essences and the ancient god body. After reaching the third step, they can be recultivated. Even if they can't become complete, reaching the third step is worth it, even if it means not being able to move forward anymore. Stay here. Are you not tired of 2,000 years of cultivation? Walking the line of life and death over and over again, are you still not afraid? Stay here, stay here. Wang Lin's struggle became even stronger and his breathing became anxious. This short period of time was like thousands of years for him. After a long time, Wang Lin suddenly looked up at the first-generation vermilion bird. His voice was slightly hoarse as he said, "Can the ancestor only take the three of us? Can I bring a few more people? Junior has some friends I can't leave behind." The first-generation vermilion bird pondered, and a moment later his voice echoed in the world. "Taking the three of you is my limit. Forget it, when the day to leave comes, this old man can give you one more spot. If any more people come, I fear I won't be able to make it back." One spot, Li Muwen appeared in Wang Lin's eyes. Then Sichu Nan, Qing Shui, and Zhu Aryu appeared. Li Qianmai appeared. The figures that he had encountered over his 2,000 years of cultivation that caused him to struggle with this decision appeared. "Now tell me, what is your choice?" The first-generation vermilion bird's words entered Wang Lin's mind. A monstrous wave was set off in Wang Lin's heart. This choice made him struggle and hesitate. A moment later, Wang Lin's right hand reached at the void and a rift to his storage space appeared. A coffin slowly floated out, and Li Muwen was calmly sleeping inside the coffin. Can Senior resurrect her? Wang Lin looked up with bloodshot eyes. The struggle of making this choice was like a vicious battle for him. A long sigh echoed across the world and the first-generation vermilion bird's words echoed. "This old man saw the coffin when you opened your storage space earlier. This woman must be your obsession. This coffin was refined by a junior because I have never seen it before, but I can feel the effect of this coffin. This woman's lifespan ended and her nascent soul was then injured. She died. Then you put the nascent soul inside the coffin to reform her flesh, but her soul had already collapsed." Wang Lin's body trembled as he stared at Li Muwen inside the coffin. "This coffin is very strange. It allows a collapsed soul to not dissipate for a while. If you can find the correct method of control, you can find the shattered pieces of her soul one by one. But even if you can find all of her soul, this old man can't resurrect her." Wang Lin's heart was filled with despair and his gaze became dim. He stared at the coffin as if his heart had been torn apart, and pain filled his body. The first-generation vermilion bird pondered a bit and slowly said, "However, if this old man can't do it, that doesn't mean others can't. In my hometown, there are 3 people that can mend her soul and resurrect her. It's just, all 3 of them have extremely high statuses, and this old man can't get them to help. However, you can rest assured, I'll do my best." Wang Lin didn't look up, and he slowly withdrew his gaze from the coffin. His right hand touched the coffin and he put it back inside his storage space. The 3 people ancestor talked about are too far away from Junior. The 3 are able to do it presumably due to their unfathomable cultivation. Wang Lin raised his hand and looked at the first-generation vermilion bird statue. Although his eyes were still bloodshot, they no longer contained any struggle. Instead, they were filled with clarity and determination. Junior also wants to live peacefully. I'm tired of the constant life and death situations and the schemes of the cultivation world. I would very much like to stay here until I'm old. Even if it means my cultivation would stop at the 3rd step, so what? Wang Lin's eyes became bright and he continued, "It's just that Junior can't do it. Asking others for help is too unreliable, and I don't like having someone else controlling my fate. I might as well not ask for their help." Since they can cultivate to that degree, I, Wang Lin, can do it as well. Can do it as well. Although these words were not loud, but after he spoke them, it was as if an indescribable force had surged into his body, giving him a shocking presence. Their words seemed to echo inside this world. Even the first-generation vermilion bird's eyes narrowed. I can't give up my ancient god body. I can't give up my other 4 essences. Even if this path is difficult, I have to continue down it. I can't allow my cultivation to stop. Wang Lin bowed at the first-generation vermilion bird before stepping into the air. Junior appreciates the old ancestor's goodwill. Whether it is the 5 heavens blights or the 5 void-shattering fingers, they are all things comprehended by cultivators as required steps to break the void gate. Then why can't Junior find my own way, a method unique to me? Ancestor said that I need 5 fingers to cover the sky, but Junior doesn't want to go through the 5 heavens blights. My ancient god body is Junior's palm and my 5 essences are my fingers. 5 heavens blights, 5 void-shattering fingers, 5 essences, they have different names, but their meanings are the same. I've completed 1 essence, which is the same as the first heaven's blight. Once my 5 essences are complete, I'll be the same as a peak 5th heaven's blight cultivator. I'll break open the void gate and form my own path. 1. We don't understand exactly what the author is saying in this chapter regarding the essences and staying at the 3rd step. We don't know if he would be permastuck at the 3rd step with his fire essence or if he could continue cultivating the fire essence but the other essences and the ancient god body would be stuck at the 3rd step. Wang Lin floated in the air and clasped his hands at the statue of the first-generation vermilion bird. He then waved his right hand and the blood sword let out a sword him before flying back to Wang Lin. His words revealed his determination. When the first-generation vermilion bird heard this, he silently pondered. Wang Lin looked at the sky. Fire burned in his left eye and thunder flashed in his right eye. They seemed to support the entire world as he stood there as his voice echoed. Since I can't rely on others to resurrect Wano, then I can only rely on my own strength. Since the old ancestor can't take my friends away, then I'll stay here and break through heaven on my own. I'll take my friends and ascend with them. His mighty words echoed across the world like rolling thunder. If leaving this world was like becoming a celestial, then Wang Lin's words meant not only that was he going to become a celestial, but he was going to make all his friends celestials too. After pondering for a bit, the first-generation vermilion bird let out a sigh. Perhaps you're right. Forget it, you passed the heaven trial. I know you left a drop of vermilion bird blood on an abandoned planet and lured the Fire Sparrow clan to take it. Your purpose should be the fire essence in the Fire Sparrow clan. Your vermilion bird has awakened 4 times and you've given birth to ethereal fire. If you can devour the fire essence left by the traitorous 3rd vermilion bird, your fire essence will increase greatly. Although the traitorous 3rd vermilion bird was a fake, he was the most talented person I've seen. Although he was seriously injured by me, his cultivation was powerful and his mind cunning. He must have left himself a few safety measures to protect himself. This old man also suspects that he has another identity in the ancient star system. However, I'm unable to leave this place, so I can't investigate this matter. If you have plans for the Fire Sparrow clan, you need to be careful of the traitorous 3rd vermilion bird. He might be in closed-door cultivation in the holy land of the Fire Sparrow clan. If he is really there, then I'll give you this item condensed from my vermilion bird Endless Fire. With it, even if you meet the traitorous 3rd vermilion bird, you can keep your life. If I'm wrong, then take this as a weapon to protect yourself. As the first-generation vermilion bird spoke, the 9-colored fire between his eyebrows flashed. It condensed into a 9-colored feather that slowly flew at Wang Lin. The traitorous 3rd vermilion bird has a treasure of my vermilion bird clan, but he doesn't know the method to control it. I'll teach it to you, and if you have the power to take it back, I'll gift that treasure to you. The moment Wang Lin caught the 9-colored feather, a complex chant was engraved into his soul. Try to keep the members of the Fire Sparrow clan alive, as they have great use to me. I'll help you make that vermilion bird blood you left on the abandoned planet more real. No one but the 3rd-generation vermilion bird would see through it. You can leave. The first-generation vermilion bird's voice gradually became more faint until eventually it disappeared. The statue lost its vitality and seemed to turn into a dead object. Wang Lin looked at the statue of the first-generation vermilion bird, and after a moment, he bowed deeply. Then he turned around and disappeared. On the great Emperor planet, the heaven incense stick seemed like it would burn forever without end. Time slowly passed, one breath, one breath. It had been a total of 23 breaths now. Although Wang Lin's conversion with the first-generation vermilion bird was long, thanks to the interference of the first-generation vermilion bird, it was merely a few breaths of time outside. 24th breath. 25th breath. The surrounding cultivators were all filled with shock. Master Simo frowned, and there was a flash of hostility on his face. Grandmaster Yun Luo's right hand formed seal so fast that her hand formed after images as she calmly stared at Wang Lin. Only the old vermilion bird had a gloomy expression. He vaguely guessed the purpose of the ancestor, that this trial was a test of identity. 26th breath. 27th breath. 27 breaths. This third young emperor was able to make the heaven incense stick last this long. Look at his body. It just looked like he was facing a life and death crisis, but now he has calmed down. The surrounding cultivators began to debate. Every breath that passed caused their minds to be shaken even more. Just at this moment, the fire from the heaven incense stick became monstrous and covered almost half the sky. The monstrous fire charged at the small remaining part of the heaven incense stick. In just an instant, the remaining heaven incense stick had been burned clean. This sudden change attracted the attention of all the surrounding cultivators. Even the old vermilion bird's eyes lit up, and he looked closely. Although it sounds slow, it happened in an instant. The heaven incense stick was rapidly shrinking, and the fire was about to reach Wang Lin's body. At this moment, Wang Lin's soul still hadn't returned. If he didn't return before the incense stick was burned clean, then even if he passed the trial, he would have failed in the eyes of the surrounding cultivators. All of this happened in a flash. The sudden increase in the burning rate of the heaven incense stick was like an invisible force that attracted everyone's attention. Under their gazes, the fire from the heaven incense stick quickly descended and devoured Wang Lin. The heaven incense stick had completely burned out. He didn't come out. The third young emperor's soul didn't come out. Did he fail? HMPH, I told you this trial was extremely difficult and he wouldn't succeed. So what if his cultivation is monstrous? He still failed in this trial. I want to see how the first young emperor will save him. The surrounding cultivators went into an uproar. Master Simo took a deep breath and joy appeared in his eyes. However, the moment the joy appeared, it drained away and was replaced with endless gloom. Grandmaster Yun Luo's right hand was a bloody mess once more as she was interrupted once more. This time she wasn't interrupted by a strange force, but by an indifferent gaze coming from the burning incense stick. The gaze was like fire and thunder, and the moment it appeared, it caused the world to rumble. A black shadow gradually walked out of the burning stick and appeared before all the cultivators present. Wang Lin walked out with a gloomy expression. The moment the heaven incense stick burned out, his soul returned to his body. Once he was back in his body, this fire was nothing to him. Under the shocked gazes of all the surrounding cultivators, Wang Lin waved his right hand and the fire behind him moved with him. It turned into a river of fire that wrapped around his right hand. Wang Lin clenched his fist and the river of fire collapsed, sending fire scattering in all directions. The scattering bits of fire were like fireflies with Wang Lin at the center. The nine-colored fire rotated rapidly in Wang Lin's left eye and turned into ethereal fire. In his right eye, the thunder tattoo had 9 accompanying thunders rotating around it. His clothes fluttered and his hair moved without wind. His gaze swept past all the surrounding cultivators. At this moment, Wang Lin was like a celestial and a demon fused into one. An indescribable aura surged out from him, and all the injuries on his body healed. At the same time, an endless fire burned in his soul as endless power condensed his body. All the cultivators that met his gaze felt their minds tremble, and huge waves were set off in their minds. They felt as if a fire was burning inside them, and the stronger their emotions became, the more powerful the fire became. In an instant, the fire was strong enough to burn them to ashes. What was even more shocking was that once you were swept by Wang Lin's gaze, your mind and soul seemed to no longer belong to you. At this moment, you would feel as if the world was occupied by a giant thunder tattoo with 9 different thunders around it trying to destroy your soul. This feeling only lasted for an instant for most cultivators when Wang Lin's gaze swept by them. However, it was unforgettable, and that feeling of terror was something they could never forget. Wang Lin was about to display his might. Just one sweep of his gaze had caused the hearts of the surrounding 10,000 cultivators to tremble. Panic appeared in their eyes and they all lowered their heads. They actually didn't dare to look at Wang Lin. In particular, those who were disrespectful to Wang Lin and had talked behind his back turned deathly pale. They clearly felt that as soon as Wang Lin willed it, their bodies would be burned to nothing and their origin souls would turn to ashes. Wang Lin's gaze swept past these cultivators one by one. No matter what cultivation level they were at, Wang Lin could see the ethereal fire coming from them. The more their emotions fluctuated, the more intense the fire became. A powerful feeling appeared in Wang Lin's eyes. A hint of killing intent appeared in his eyes as he waved his hand and the world rumbled. Ethereal fire appeared in the bodies of all the surrounding cultivators. This fire gave off intense heat, and fear appeared in their eyes. In an instant, the ethereal fire that had ignited within the 10,000 cultivators rushed out of their bodies and gathered toward Wang Lin, who was still on the back of the giant tortoise. This scene was extremely shocking. The monstrous ethereal fire was like smoke, and it turned into a huge vortex and was absorbed by Wang Lin. The fire surrounded him and formed a monstrous firestorm. This storm rotated rapidly and formed violent gusts of wind. The surrounding cultivators were all blown back 10,000 feet by this gust of wind. This is gathering of external ethereal fire. The old vermilion bird's eyes widened and he was filled with shock. Grandmaster Yun Luo's face was pale and her mind trembled. At this moment, if Wang Lin had a bead and a needle floating before him, then he would look exactly the same as the figure she had seen. Wang Lin's body floated up inside the storm of ethereal fire. He looked down past Yun Luo and directly at the gloomy Master Simo. Master Simo, didn't you want to kill me? I'll give you the chance, come. Wang Lin stretched out his right hand and taunted Master Simo. Challenge. To launch a challenge at a third-step cultivator. Since ancient times, third-step cultivators were like gods to second-step cultivators. Such people were almost invincible unless it was a battle between third-step cultivators, but it would be impossible for them to lose to second-step cultivators. This was like a law. Not only had it existed for eternity in this world, but it was imprinted in the minds of all the cultivators. Third-step cultivators were invincible. All cultivators were like ants before third-step cultivators. Even though Master Simo had been humiliated by the old vermilion bird, the fact was that anywhere else, whether it was in the outer realm or the inner realm, he would merely have to stomp his foot to cause a great disaster. Even though he was only at the early stage of Nirvana Void, he was still a god to second-step cultivators. However, right now unbelievable words that surprised all the cultivators here had echoed like thunder across the great Emperor planet. He dared to challenge a third-step cultivator. Although the third young emperor is powerful, there is still a big gap between him and a legendary third-step cultivator. To challenge him now is really stupid. This person has just experienced a trial, so he must be injured, yet he wants to boastfully challenge a third-step cultivator? Simply ridiculous, ridiculous. I don't think so. Although his cultivation can't compare to a third-step cultivator, the shock from the trials has brought his momentum to its peak. If he doesn't battle now, he would be wasting this opportunity. HMPH, a third-step cultivators is not someone people like us can challenge. I say Master Simo only needs one spell to teach this third young emperor the consequences of being arrogant. I admire the third young emperor for doing this. Whether he succeeds or not doesn't matter, how many people would dare to be like him? All of you here talk with disdain, but how many of you would dare to go up and challenge him like the third young emperor? The 10,000 cultivators were talking behind Wang Lin's back at the start, but after the trials, a portion of them now spoke of Wang Lin with respect. Wang Lin's words, especially his last word, come, revealed his great confidence. Grandmaster Yun Luo was also shocked. She didn't think Wang Lin would dare to challenge Master Simo. At this moment, the Wang Lin before her was rapidly interchanging with the terrifying figure. She felt like she had entered a trance and almost couldn't tell them apart. The old vermilion bird revealed a smug smile. This was what he wanted his junior to do something that everyone thought impossible. Although third-step cultivators are strong, I didn't throw those few slaps for nothing. The old vermilion bird looked at Master Simo. Master Simo looked at Wang Lin, and his eyes suddenly turned clear. There was no joy or sorrow within them, and coldness filled his body. At this moment, he looked like a different person from before. A powerful sense of majesty slowly spread out from his body and caused the world to distort. As the world twisted, countless illusory souls seemed to appear. Every single soul looked mournful, and bursts of silent cries echoed across the great Emperor planet. Do you think you can challenge a third-step cultivator just because you won against my avatar? Since you want to die, then this old man will comply with your wish. Master Simo looked calm. He took a step forward and moved like a ray of light toward Wang Lin. The surrounding cultivators all stared at this scene, and their breathing seemed to stop. An indescribable sense of excitement began to fill the minds of all the surrounding cultivators. A third-step cultivator was going to act. Such a battle was a once-in-a-lifetime situation. It was very rare to see something like this, so how could they not be excited? Heaven-breaking 9 extinctions. Master Simo's voice was calm and it echoed across the world. In a flash, he was within 1,000 feet of Wang Lin. There was no killing intent or coldness in his eyes as he waved his right hand. First extinction, heaven. With his wave, the sky rumbled and countless spatial cracks appeared. It seemed like the sky was being ripped open by force. These hideous scars shot straight at Wang Lin. The sky distorted and even more spatial cracks appeared. Second extinction, Earth. Master Simo said. The earth rumbled and the surrounding cultivators retreated in terror. The entire earth around the giant tortoise trembled as if it was moving. Mountains piercing the sky suddenly arose from the earth, and they all shot toward Wang Lin. At this moment, the sky distorted while the spatial cracks came toward Wang Lin. The earth trembled and countless mountains shot toward him. Third extinction, life. There was a flash in Master Simo's calm eyes. He waved his right hand and a cold gust of wind appeared from the void. It blew toward Wang Lin. This cold wind was very similar to Wang Lin's call the wind. It could blow out the fire of life. All of this happened in a flash. As soon as Master Simo started his attack, he used his most powerful spell. He had the intent of killing Wang Lin instantly. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. As the 3 extinctions closed in on him, the ethereal firestorm rotated rapidly around him. 9-color ethereal fire, in my name I order you to form the fire spirit. Wang Lin's hand formed a seal and then he waved his hand inside the ethereal firestorm. There was a loud rumble followed by the roar of dragon. A giant dragon head came out of the center of the ethereal firestorm. The dragon was red and it let out bursts of roars as it charged at the spatial cracks in the sky. Monstrous fire quickly filled the spatial cracks in the sky. This made the sky look extremely fierce. At this moment, another dragon head came out of the firestorm. This time it was an orange dragon, and it roared as it charged at the mountains coming from below. This dragon was 10,000 feet long, and the mountains began to burn before it. Shortly after, roars continued to echo as the 3rd, 4th, 5th, until 9 fire dragons had appeared. These 7 dragons charged out and the firestorm dissipated. Wang Lin simply stood there. Adding the 2 from before, there were now 9 fire dragons coiled around him. Those plus the 9-colored fire rotating in his left eye amounted to a shocking scene. A powerful aura erupted from Wang Lin's body. The 10,000 cultivators that had retreated were all shocked. Wang Lin's figure was deeply imprinted in their minds, they wouldn't be able to forget it in their lifetimes. 4th extinction, death, 5th extinction, time, 6th extinction, void, 7th extinction, desolation, 8th extinction, reincarnation. Ninth extinction. Heaven breaking. Master Semo's expression was still the same, without any killing intent or anger. His mind remained calm. The first thing one had to do when battling someone with ethereal fire was guard their mind. If his mind became a mess, his emotions would fluctuate and then his enemy could ignite the ethereal fire. Master Semo had stepped forward every time he spoke, walking step by step toward Wang Lin. Every word he had said caused illusions to appear before him. The first one to appear was an illusory graveyard. It was like a bag that quickly filled the world. The various tombs caused a monstrous death aura to appear. Shortly after, the power of time formed light under Master Semo's feet. It was as if time was rapidly changing as he walked forward. Then a vague void shrouded him. The endless tomb and his body were surrounded by this void. It made it so others couldn't see him clearly. Inside that blur lay an ancient aura that turned into the aura of reincarnation. He closed in on Wang Lin, and in an instant he was 100 feet away from Wang Lin. When he said the last two words, heaven breaking, he was 3 feet from Wang Lin. He raised his right hand and mercilessly slammed down. Heaven breaking 9 extinctions, 9 steps to extinguish heaven. The world trembled. The moment Master Semo's palm descended, all the illusions behind him collapsed into countless fragments. These fragments turned into rivers that flowed into Master Semo's right palm, and the palm closed in. All of this happened in a flash. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and his right hand formed a sword and suddenly pointed forward. The 9 dragons around him let out roars, then they fused with his finger and he pointed at Master Semo. From afar, this looked like a shocking scene. Master Semo's palm had the power to break the heavens. By borrowing the momentum of the 9 extinctions, and adding on his third step cultivation, that palm could break all living things. Wang Lin's finger had 9 dragon heads tangled together. It looked like Wang Lin's fingers had become the dragon's body. The 9 dragons roared and were surrounded by fire. In a flash, Wang Lin's finger and Master Semo's palm collided. This was an encounter with the heaven-breaking power and ethereal fire. It was a collision of law. Rumble, 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 rumble. Intense rumbles echoed across the entire Great Emperor planet like crazy. Almost all the 10,000 cultivators coughed out blood and their ears buzzed. They all anxiously retreated. As the rumbles echoed, Wang Lin's body rapidly retreated. He retreated a few hundred feet, and his face revealed a strange red. He looked up with a cold gaze. Third step cultivators are indeed amazing. Master Semo's palm trembled and he felt the fire rebound at him. His blow that could break the heavens couldn't extinguish this fire. The calmness in his eyes dissipated and there was a moment of shock. However, the moment that sliver of shock appeared, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He pointed at Master Semo. Ethereal fire, rise. This video will end here.